My 34th birthday was supposed to be a celebration, a simple night filled with friends, family, music, and laughter. I had spent the entire week preparing for the party at our home. My wife, Emily, insisted she would take care of the invitations, the music playlist, and the decorations. She promised it would be a night I'd never forget. Looking back, she was right, just not in the way I expected. The house glowed with warm lights. Guests arrived with smiles, and for the first hour, everything felt perfect. I truly believed I was surrounded by love. Emily looked stunning in a dark blue dress that hugged her figure perfectly. She moved through the room like she owned the night, greeting everyone, laughing, pouring drinks, making sure everyone was having a good time. I felt proud to call her my wife. But there was one thing she hadn't mentioned. She had invited her ex-boyfriend, Jason. At least, that's what she claimed. When he walked in, confident and smiling as if he belonged, my stomach twisted. I trusted Emily, though. She told me it was nothing, just old friends. I should have trusted my instincts in that moment. As the evening went on, the music grew louder, and someone called for slow dancing. Couples filled the living room, laughing and swaying gently to the soft song. I was chatting with a couple of guests when I noticed Emily was no longer beside me. I scanned the room and froze. There she was at the center of the dance floor, dancing with Jason. Not just dancing, holding him close. His hands rested on her waist, her arms loosely around his neck, her head tilted in that familiar way she once looked at me. My heart sank so fast I felt I might faint. It was my birthday, my home, my wife, and she was choosing him. I stood there, numb, while guests tried to pretend they didn't see. A few whispered, some looked away awkwardly. Someone nudged their partner and whispered, "Isn't that his wife?" Still, Emily kept dancing, smiling as if I didn't exist. When the song ended, she didn't come to me. She laughed at something Jason said, still holding his arm. That was the moment something inside me snapped, not in anger, but in clarity. I didn't approach her. I didn't cause a scene. I didn't ask questions. I walked to the hallway, grabbed my keys, and quietly stepped out of my own birthday party without saying a word. The cold night air hit my face, but strangely it felt like relief. As I drove away, I didn't cry or scream. I just felt empty. The humiliation was too much to process all at once. I stopped the car near a quiet lake, sat on a bench, and stared at my reflection in the dark water. How had I become the man whose wife danced with her ex at his own party? For the first time in our marriage, I realized I didn't recognize Emily anymore. About 30 minutes later, my phone blew up, calls and messages from friends, then from Emily. I ignored them all. Then I got a text from my best friend, Mark. "Bro, you need to come back. Something just happened. You're going to want to hear this." My chest tightened. I didn't know what he meant, but something told me it wasn't what I expected. When I finally returned, the party was chaos. Guests shouted. Emily was crying. Jason was gone. People kept glancing at me with wide eyes. Mark pulled me aside and said, "Dude, after you left, Jason tried to kiss her in front of everyone, and she slapped him so hard the music stopped." I blinked. "She what?" He nodded. "She slapped him hard. Then she screamed that she never wanted him there. But it got worse." Apparently, another guest had overheard Jason bragging earlier that Emily had been calling him for weeks, telling him she was unhappy in our marriage and hinting she might want him back. He claimed she was the one who invited him tonight. And when he tried to kiss her, he said loudly, "You said you miss me." Half the party heard it. The room erupted. Emily collapsed into tears, begging people to believe he was wrong, insisting she had never said anything like that. But the damage was done. Everyone had seen her dancing with him, seen me walk out silently, and now they saw her falling apart. When she finally approached me, mascara streaked down her cheeks, she whispered, "Please, please don't leave." I didn't mean for any of this to happen. I didn't yell. I didn't insult her. I just asked one question. If I hadn't walked out, would you have stopped dancing with him? She froze. No answer. No words. Not even a lie. That silence was louder than any confession. I walked past her and began gathering my things. She tried to pull at my arm, sobbing, apologizing, begging. It was just a dance. I never meant to hurt you, but all I could remember was how her smile had faded the moment she saw I was leaving. Not during the dance, not before, only after the consequences arrived. I told her calmly, "Your actions tonight weren't a mistake. They were a reveal." That line hit her harder than anything. She collapsed onto the couch, crying hysterically, while guests stood around awkwardly. Some offered me help. Some whispered that I deserved better. For the first time in years, I believed them. That night, I didn't go home. I stayed with Mark. Emily kept calling until 4 a.m., leaving voicemails full of regret, excuses, and desperation. The truth was simple. She wanted attention, validation, and drama. She got all three, but not in the way she expected. By morning, I had made up my mind. I needed space, clarity, and respect. Things I clearly wasn't getting from her. Days later, Emily admitted she had fantasized about feeling young again, and seeing Jason at the party made her momentarily reckless. But stupidity at the expense of your partner's dignity is not a joke. It's betrayal. Today, we are separated. Every year on my birthday, I remember the night she chose to dance with her past, and I chose to walk toward my future.